I'm going to show you a quick, easy, economical way to resurface a countertop. I got 2 boxes of these off of Amazon for a total of $30. Right here, I'm going to show you my before picture of the space and the middle picture of the space, and stay tuned. I release a video once a week and you'll see the finished space. Here's my cash wrap. I put these 2 porch columns with brackets and screws into the countertop, and then I put that sign up on one side, and I just want to show you. Okay, I was supposed to have a silent, quiet grand opening about a week ago. I am nowhere near. I had to move it because I am on a paid project and it was just not going to work out. So this is the Bella Iron Orchid stamp on the front of this. My walls are Kissing Booth and DIY paint on the back. I repainted a little bit. It's wet and it's not dry. That's why it looks like that. So first you want to lay out your sticky tiles and get your pattern kind of planned out. You can do them all up and down, left and right. You can do a brick lay or where the seams would show. So here I'm just messing around with that, and I show you 2 different ways to do it. Okay guys, FYI, take it really slow when you peel this back off. See how that's tearing? Oh, it is so frustrating. But if you'll take your time and do it with 2 hands, you can get it off in one piece because you need that all to come off to adhere properly. So I rescued this counter from a pharmacy and I loved it so much. We put it on rollers and I've actually walked it from one location down the street to another location and to another location because we had 3 buildings that we owned right there on the main street. One sold. I've got to get all my stuff out of there. Okay, so I decided to do this. It's going to be a lot busier, but I liked it like this because I need you to not see my bad cutting job. I thought I was going to do a good job. I didn't have all my straight edges and sharp razors like I tell you about later that you need. It's in a different location. We have all of our projects going at the same time. Right here, I'm just testing out, do I want to brick lay? Do I want to do it, straight up and down from each other? I decided to brick lay because I wanted you to not see the seam as good. So here's an example of it like this. And over to the right, you will see the sample of brick lay, and the eye will not go down the seam as much. So that's why I chose to do it this way. So I just cleaned the countertop with alcohol and just use the stickiness on the back. You could put more adhesive on the back, but I change things too often to do that. And it was actually pretty easy to peel them up when I realized I did it wrong. Some of the patterns weren't exactly right, heading all exactly the same way, and I wanted them to be that. And so you've got a little grace. I didn't try to smash them down and make them really flat because I knew I wanted to kind of adjust and shift. I did this on another cabinet that had been in a storefront for years. It held up so beautifully. That's why I knew this was fine. We actually did this for a paid client's job in their little coffee ice cream shop for a countertop to make it meet code because it was raw wood. And it's just a quick, cheap, easy way. You can get these all over the place. Dollar Store, Family Dollar, Amazon. You can get high end, you can get the low end, and they're really easy to cut. I made it really difficult because I just didn't have everything I needed, and I did some bad cuts. I didn't do any close-ups, as you notice, and I don't want my husband to look because he's a perfectionist, and it's good enough for me. Look how good that looks with that pink wall. That white part is going to be black eventually. But there's some things you need to know about this. The corners will chip off. And I am going to use a straight edge, like a good ruler, and a really sharp X-Acto knife. I repeat, do not use a dull. Don't use a dull when you do wallpaper either, FYI. And we're going to cut these. They're super simple to cut. You score them, and then you can bend it up and pull it off, and it's really easy. And you got to stop in the middle of the project and stand back and look, am I going right? And put a piece of painter's tape on the ones that are going right if you have a multi-pattern. Okay, like to further explain what I'm talking about. So this one's going up and down like I want it. This one's going like this like I want it. So when I go to put the next one down, let's say it's, I'm just gonna stick these on top of each other so you can see what I mean. Okay. Do you see how this matches this? But if I would have turned it this way, how it doesn't match that. And this is already so crazy and already doing so much that I didn't want even one more layer of that to happen. But you might want that. Maybe it'll make it so busy they'll never see these seam lines. So that is something to think about. So I did have to pick a few up and change them, but let me show you how easy it was. It wasn't that bad because I haven't rolled this down and pushed it as much as I could have, because I wanted to do, you know, have a little grace. But I have kept going like this in the middle and then like this to push it up. Another thing to think about, this wasn't exact. And I wanted the customer's eye to see that this is matched more than this. Now, if this was real thick, you could just cut a thin one to do it. But then when I got over here, because this is so old, it's actually going over this one and needs to be cut a little bit. And it's close here, see? And that's just because, and that will happen with walls too. Oh, guys, I was struggling so much because there are some weird angles going on. There is ways to turn the pattern on its back and do this. You'll have to watch another YouTube for that. I didn't have time to explain it very good, but you can do these angles better than I did. I just was in a hurry. Look at me, what I'm trying to do to use a straight edge. Nothing was working. I had to go help a customer buy some products at my other location, and I actually grabbed the straight edge I needed after I was pretty much done with the whole project. But whatever, it's done. So you can take your time and be persnickety. You can just get her done like I did and just be done is good enough. If this was in my home, if this was in a client's house, oh my goodness, the much more labor I would have spent on that. So you can do that. But for this level of project, for what I'm doing, it's good enough. Let's just get her done. I need to open. All right, here I am trying to remember how I seen a YouTube video of how you turn it on its back and you cut the opposite. Blah, 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 blah. That's how it was in my brain. So I was like, forget that. Just get her done. I end up cutting a template with cardboard and doing it on top of the pattern. That worked for me. Still not the greatest, but you know what? It's done. If you want detailed, master woodworking, master construction person, I'm not your person. If you want to see how to get it done, everything be cute and economical, I'm your girl, okay? If you just want inspiration and not the perfect nuts and bolts, this is where you want to be on this channel, okay? Okay, here I am. See that angle? Oh man, this is above my skill level. So now I'm taking my Barbie doll scissors that cut like crap and trying to make this paper template that actually worked pretty good, but again, it could have been better. All right, I wanted to use some of the scrap pieces instead of cutting into the brand new tile. So I ended up not matching the pattern on these fill-in pieces on the weird angle because I wanted to have, I only had like 2 or 3 left, and in case something happened, I wanted to be able to repair it or maybe redo the pieces I did so bad. So I just used the scraps. So that pattern doesn't match towards the end. Again, you know, do it according to your level that you can deal with. Okay, see what I'm talking about? Scoring it, the top layer didn't cut. Don't just rip that apart because you will tear into the pattern on top. So kind of either cut it from the top as well, or just be careful doing that part. Let's move on, I am over it. So right here, I'm lifting these pillars up and putting them on there and being very aware they could fall off and crash and hurt me or something. So I just was being careful on this, but I had to stand back and look if it was looking okay. And then I, quickly as I can, screw them into the counter. Your length of screws do matter because I don't want it sticking down underneath where I'm grabbing bags and stuff. And You don't want them too long that you can never get it all the way down into the wood. So just use the length that you need to get a good catch into the wood and into the countertop. I always get these brackets at Hobby Lobby with a half price. The metal's on half price. Every other week, the wood is coordinating with that as well. And I chose to put this towards the left of this pillar because I wanted more countertop for me working, but the center would be more probably stable, but because I'm going to have that top part on to help it all tie together and be stable, I didn't worry about that. I put a baby one just for more bracing, and I used this pillar for, actually two of them, for weddings, and I put 4 all around, and then I had a chandelier, and I think my daughter and her husband are the one that kind of got some pictures taken under it. It was a reception decorating, and just, you can use them for craft shows, you can use them for displays, you can use them indoor, outdoor. They're really easy and a good way to use things like that. This is a footboard that I found in the trash, and I had these really close together to where that was across. I had it on the table back there I just pointed to, but we're changing it up. So I needed a longer one, and I just happen to have this sign setting here, and it says the gathering place. You're gonna see the end in a minute. So where we're doing our workshops, people will look up and see, oh, this is where we're gathering for the fun. But I didn't want it to look like my business name, and I wanted to be able to say, check out here. So that's on the other side that you'll see, and then on the back side, it will, I like Debbie Design Diary, her checkout, which it's, you know, seashore and stuff, says shell it out here, and I thought that was cute. So I'm gonna just put check out here and maybe an arrow or something. So I do need to fluff that up a little bit. I'm gonna paint the wood and do some maybe gold or metallic or make it prettier than your end picture that you see, but hey, we gotta get it done. That was a reenacted scream. It was much deeper and more passionate when I put that impact driver through my skin. To wear a glove, and then later I get the glove and side that drill, and it tore the glove off. And I didn't want Caitlin looking at it. She's over there laughing right now as I'm recording this. And so anyways, it was worth the pain, but impact drivers are very high volume, and I use a deck screw so that you don't have to pre-drill, and it will get it in the wood, but I wouldn't suggest it. So look how good. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Please like and subscribe. See you next week.